In this video, I'm going to be demonstrating how you can create a Gantt chart using code rather than using a traditional project management or drawing package. There are a number of tools that can be used to create diagrams using code. Here, I'm going to be using the open source PlantUML package. The best place to start is with the PlantUML website, which is the app to download, full set of documentation, including how-to guides, FAQs, and even a forum. If you don't want to or can't download the app, there's an online server where you can create your diagrams directly in your browser. The Getting Started page calls out the need to have Java 8 installed on the system where you plan to use the app. If you don't already have it, there's a link to where you can download it from. Click on the link to the download page, then simply click on the link to the app, and it should start downloading. Once you've downloaded the app, getting it running is very straightforward. Simply check you've got the correct version of Java installed. I'm creating a subdirectory to hold the app just to keep things neat and tidy. Copy the jar file that you've downloaded to the new subdirectory. And then it's just a simple case of running the app with the GUI flag. And all done. When putting together the code, you can use a wide variety of IDEs, but a simple text editor will also do the job. UML code uses the start and stop keywords to denote the beginning and end of a diagram. As I'm creating a Gantt chart, the diagram starts with start Gantt and ends with end Gantt. I'll start my diagram by setting the project start date. Save the file. You can use a .text, .pu or .puml file extension. I'm using .puml so I can easily identify my PlantUML files at a later date. Now that I've saved the file, bring up the PlantUML GUI, click on the file name, and we should be able to see the start of our Gantt chart. So now we need to add some activities to the Gantt chart. I'm going to create a chart looking at a very simple software process, write some code, release it, and then do some testing. I'm going to allow the developers 14 days to write the code. So give it a quick save, and there's the chart. But we've got people working on Saturdays and Sundays. Don't really want that. So back to our code, and we can set it up so that Saturdays and Sundays are closed. Tidy it up. Save it, and then you can see that we're not working weekends anymore. Now I'll add a step to deploy the code. To show that a deployment is dependent on the code writing step being complete, I'll use the constraint syntax to define the deployment starts at the end of the code writing. And we'll set a duration of 2 days for deployment. Now I'll add a testing task. This time it starts at the deploy change, which is end, and we'll allow 5 days for this one. And finally, I'll add in some user acceptance testing. I'll use the same constraint syntax. This time I'll set it so the user acceptance testing starts after the test system steps. For the duration, I'll use a mixture of units. So we'll have a couple of weeks and 3 days. Could just say a number of days, but I just want to show we can use different units. So I'll save the file, and let's have a look at our Gantt chart. Looks like we've got an error. So let's see if we can find this syntax problem. Well, there we are. Extra S, bit of a typo. Let's take that out. Save. And now let's have a look at our chart. So there we have a series of 4 steps to complete our plan. Let's assume the different steps in our plan are being performed by different teams. We can represent this in the diagram by adding colors to each step. So we'll use red for the development team's activities. So they'll write the code, and we'll also get the dev team to deploy the change. So we'll make that red as well. For the testing step, we'll set the color to be, let's say, blue for the test team. And we'll color steps that are going to be performed by our users as green. Quick look at our chart, and there we are. Our activities are nicely colored now. Just make that a bit bigger so you can all see it. Let's just record the progress of each task. Tasks are declared in square brackets, and you can put multiple actions on a single line, but I prefer to have a new line for each action, as I think it makes the code easier to read. The syntax to record the progress is to use is complete. We'll set the code writing task to 40% and the tasks that come after it as 0%, as we haven't started those yet. Last one. Quick save. Have a look at our chart. Yep, and there you can see the color fill shows us how far we are in the progression. Now we have the task in our plan. Let's improve how the chart looks by adding a title and a footer. To add a title, simply enter the title verb and then the text you want for the title. For the footer, I'll have some text, and then I'm going to use the date function so that our chart displays the date when it was created. So that's the text. And now let's just call the date function. Tidy it up. Let's have a look. And there we are. See a title, and at the bottom, the footer with the date. As we've added some colour to our chart, we really should add a legend explaining what the colours represent. We can define how our legend will be rendered using a style section. So we open that section and define it for the legend. Now, let's set a font size of 10. So we'll set the background color for our legend to white. A margin of 30. And a padding to about 10. Probably the most powerful setting to control how our colors and fonts are displayed is the skin param. There are a number of settings that you can control. I'm going to use it to set the legend's background color to white. Now, previously I've used keywords, but you can use hex values for colors. So now we've defined the style of how it's going to look. Now we need to add our legend. The legend is defined in a section of code that starts with the keyword legend, and it will end with the keyword end legend. Left means our legend will appear on the left of our diagram. First, I'm going to set the title for the legend Ghost White. It's a slightly greyish white. It just makes it a little bit stand out. We use a sort of standard table format. So first, set the legend heading. Each color I've used to represent the team will get its own row in the legend table. So it was red for developers, blue was used for the testers, and it was green for activities that are owned by the users. End the legend. Save it. Look at our chart, and there's our legend. Excellent, looking good.